Very good evening, friends. Today we are on the session of SME IPO. Few days back, I had visited MSMEs for some subsidies related work. Officer available there asked me to study and advise the clients on SME IPO, particularly in the small cities. As I am living in the very small city of Karnal. The demand for SME IPO is very high these days, and I am feeling myself fortunate enough to work as moderator for this session on SME portal. I, on behalf of ICA, welcome today's speaker, CA Dr. Sunil Gupta ji and Shivcharan Singhal ji. And I also welcome the another moderator of this session, CA Gautam, and all the delegates present today's session. Before start, let me introduce today's first speaker, CA Dr. Sunil Gupta ji. CA Dr. Sunil Gupta ji is a chartered accountant. He is in practice since 2003. He is partner in SPS Gupta and Associates and Messer G. Sunil and Associates. He works in the area of internal audit, tax, GST compliances, and SME IPO advisor, providing services to small and medium enterprises navigating the IPO process. He covers every stage of the IPO journey from initial assessment and preparation to market debut and post-IPO support. In addition to this, he is associated with, not only associated, he is the founder of NGO Sampuran Me, a NGO which works for the mind, diet, and exercise. This NGO has conducted more than 5,000 programs on these mind, diet, and exercise programs. And with these words, I request CA Dr. Sunil Gupta ji to please start the deliberation.
Thank you, Gandhi sir. So for warm welcome. I also thank you to my Sanjeev Singhal ji and entire ICA fraternity. And they are conducted a session on SME IPO, that is the emerging sessions and emerging areas where our professionals can do highly professional, can provide highly professional services to the SMEs, and they can empower the SME sectors, and as well as they can empower our professions. So thank you, my colleague as well, Shivchan Singhal sir. So it's a pleasant to meet all of you on this evening. So as Dinesh Gandhi sir already told, SME IPO is the thing which is right now a emerging thing, and which is really benefit for the SME sectors, and which empowers entire SMEs, which will not only for the money, and there are many other aspects. So how can they be empower? What are the issues which are facing while go for the SMEs IPOs, and what process have to follow? So आज हम सब टॉपिक्स पे एक एक करके बात करेंगे. सो आई वांट टू प्रेजेंट माय प्रेजेंटेशंस. सर हमारी फर्म का नाम जी सुनील एंड एसोसिएट्स है. सो माय ऑफिस इन द रोहिणी क्राउन प्लाजा. तो मेरा प्रोफाइल गांधी सर ने आपको बता दिया है. आई एम क्वालिफाइड इन 2003 and I have experienced more than 21 years, and we are work for the internal audit, GST, taxation, and SME IPO advisory services to our clients. So आज सर जो हम टॉपिक कवर करने जा रहे हैं SME IPO के बारे में, उसके बेनिफिट्स क्या हैं, उसके बारे में मिथ क्या है, उसका प्रोसेस क्या है, और लिस्टिंग करने के लिए कौन कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म है, हमारी एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया क्या है, और कौन कौन से आईपीओस अभी तक लिस्ट हुए हैं और ट्रेंड क्या है उनका, की पर्सन कौन कौन रहने वाले हैं, डीआरएचपी क्या रहता है, वैल्यूएशंस कैसे कंसिडर की जाती हैं, और एक केस स्टडी जो हमने अभी 2 महीने पहले हमने एक आईपीओ किया था, तो उसकी केस स्टडी के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. एसएमई और मेन बोर्ड में डिफरेंस क्या है, और एडवाइजर का रोल क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो इन सब इश्यूज के बारे में आज हम बात करने जा रहे हैं. सर एसएमई आईपीओ क्या रहता है, जो भी एसएमई सेक्टर्स हैं उनके जो कंपनी है, उनके जो शेयर्स हैं फर्स्ट टाइम जब पब्लिक को ऑफर किए जाते हैं, जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं शेयर मार्केट के बारे में, हम सब चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हैं, एंड वी ऑल नो अबाउट द हाउ शेयर मार्केट वर्क्स। तो एसएमई सेक्टर्स भी अपना आईपीओ ला सकता है। उसके लिए अलग से प्लेटफॉर्म बनाए गए हैं। तो उसके लिए जब वो पब्लिक को पहली बार शेयर ऑफर करते हैं तो उसको हम एसएमई आईपीओ बोलते हैं। तो उसके लिए जो आईपीओ लाने के डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पर्पज है, जैसे कि एक्सपेंशन एक्सपेंशन पर्पज से हम आईपीओ ला सकते हैं, डेप्ट रीपेमेंट पर्पज से ला सकते हैं, इक्वेशन पर्पज से ला सकते हैं। तो ये एक एसएमई आईपीओ की डेफिनेशन है। और मैं आप सबको बताना चाहता हूँ, एसएमई आईपीओ आज हमें लगता है एक, हमें ऐसा लगता है ये एक मैंडेटरी पार्ट नहीं है, ऐसे लगता है ऑप्शनल है। एसएमई आईपीओ लाने वाले कुछ लोग शायद कुछ अलग होते हैं, बट मैं आप सबसे बताना चाहता हूँ एसएमई आईपीओ कोई भी ला सकता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं जो मिथ हमारी उसमें रहता है कि हम आईपीओ नहीं ला सकते, हमारी कंपनी छोटी है, ऐसा नहीं है। तो थोड़े दिनों में मुझे ऐसा लगता है एसएमई आईपीओ एक बिजनेस का पार्ट बन जाएगा, यानी कि कोई भी कंपनी जिसका आईपीओ नहीं है वो ग्रो ही नहीं कर पाएगी। कंपनी की ग्रोथ के लिए आईपीओ लाना मैंडेटरी हो जाएगा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है। और जब हम उसी के बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं, जैसे कि बिजनेस के बारे में आईपीओ लाना क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, मैं आपसे कहना चाहता हूँ जो बिजनेसमैन होता है, कहीं ना कहीं उसका जो माइंडसेट रहता है ऑपरेशंस में स्टक रहता है। क्योंकि आप सब जानते हैं एक जो बड़ी कंपनी है, बड़ी कंपनी के पास अपने सिस्टम्स रहते हैं, अपना स्टाफ रहता है, दे आर हैवी पेइंग कैपेसिटी, पेइंग स्टाफ कैपेसिटी। सो बट इन केस ऑफ एसएमई सेक्टर्स वो सारा का सारा काम खुद से ही करते हैं। स्टाफ इतना कैपेबल नहीं रहता, उनको प्रिक्योरमेंट में ध्यान देना पड़ता है, उनको ऑपरेशंस में ध्यान देना पड़ता है, सेल्स पे ध्यान देना पड़ता है, वो डे टू डे की जो प्रॉब्लम्स है सब पे ध्यान देना पड़ता है। बट आईपीओ आने के बाद उनका माइंडसेट में काफी चेंजेस आते हैं। जैसे कि अभी वैल्यूएशंस की अगर हम बात करें, जिस भी कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन आईपीओ नहीं है तो उसकी वैल्यूएशंस नहीं लगती है जनरल केस, क्योंकि मार्केट उसको वैल्यू नहीं देती। बट इन केस ऑफ आईपीओ आपकी ऑटोमेटिक वैल्यू लग जाती है, और आप वैल्यूएशन पे कहीं ना कहीं ध्यान देना शुरू करते हैं। देखिए माइंडसेट चेंज होता है, पेंडुलम शिफ्ट होता है माइंड कम उसके लिए, मैनेजमेंट के लिए। दूसरा कैपिटल एक्सेस की हम बात करते हैं। किसी भी कंपनी के पास एक लिमिटेड सोर्स रहता है, वो ज्यादा फंड्स अपना नहीं डाल सकता, जितना उसके पास कैपिटल है उतना ही पैसा डाल सकता है। क्योंकि एसएमईज के पास फंड्स लिमिटेड रहता है, उनको कोई बैंक से लोन लेने जाएंगे, लोन भी एक लिमिटेड ही मिल सकता है। सो जैसा हम सब जानते हैं, अगर हम कोई भी बिजनेस करें, अगर उसमें ज्यादा पैसा नहीं डालते तो उसके हिसाब से उसमें रिस्पॉन्स भी कम आता है। तो अपने को जितना ज्यादा पैसा डालते हो बिजनेस के अंदर, उसके रिजल्ट्स, उसके आरओई बेटर रहते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक आईपीओ आने के बाद हमारा लिमिटेड एक्सेस एक एक्सपैंड होता है और हमें एक काफी बेनिफिट मिलता है। अगर डेप्ट रिडक्शंस की बात करते हैं, अब कोई भी कंपनी इन जनरल केस में क्या करती है, वो अपनी कोलेटरल सर्विसेज, कोलेटरल्स बैंक को देती है, बैंक उसको लोन देता है। तो लोन से फिर अपना बिजनेस वो चलाते हैं। बट उसके बाद वो इंटरेस्ट पे करते हैं। तो आखिर के साल के आखिर में जब बैलेंस शीट बनती है तो हम रियलाइज करते हैं जितनी भी हमारी इनकम थी कहीं ना कहीं वो हमने बैंक को लोन में दे दी, उनके जो इंटरेस्ट पे किया उसमें चला गया। तो कहीं ना कहीं वो ऐसा लगता है जो कंपनीज हैं वो बैंक के लिए कमा रही है, अपने लिए नहीं कमा रही। तो जब आईपीओ आने के बाद एक सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलता है, क्योंकि आप उस पैसे को डेप्ट रिपेमेंट पे भी कर सकते हो, अपना लोन उतार सकते हो। तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं आपको हेल्प मिलती है आईपीओ के बाद। ब्रांड विजिबिलिटी और क्रेडिबिलिटी की
So,
बात करते हैं। यस सर।
so sorry to interrupt, but there are some members from the south as well. So I would like to like, can you please take to us English as well?
या
Like,
डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली
yeah,
डेफिनेटली
it would be difficult for them to understand
गॉट इट
Hindi.
गॉट इट गॉट इट
Yeah,
गॉट So
thank you
I
so
want
much.
to, okay. So in case of brand visibility, I want to say that we are around 16.5 crore DMAT users in India. Uh, in case we are launching our IPO, they are easily known that this company is also launching the IPOs. Hence, visibility creates, and more visibilities comes because the many people know about you. And after that, Twitters on YouTube and business news, everyone is giving their news that this company is also launching their IPOs, and after launching IPOs, their share is also on the market. So in that case, visibility enhance. This visibility cannot you cannot do with the spend of even crores of rupees. So this is the free visibility and free brand awareness you will get after the launching of IPOs. Regarding vendor management, once we launch our IPO and after that a credibility enhance, in that case, every vendors want to work with us because they know that this is a listed company and this is a good company and law-abiding company, so they can rely on us. And many vendors want to work with us, and they are also give the better uh, rates as well. So it will also help to vendor management. Regarding automations, I want to say whenever we launch our IPO, in that case, we get the money from the market, and it gives us courage to spend the money on the business. So we can hire the good staff, we can go for the automation, we can install new systems. So in that case, the possibility of increase our business is also increased. So automations we can is also a major factor if we do our IPO. Net worth and valuations. Before IPO, there's no method for valuations, and our business is not getting too much values because if any unlisted company offers me 10% share, 20% share, so there's no value for me unless it's tradable. After tradable, then it creates values. So after listing, we'll get the valuations of our business, and the company goes public, and shares values and share market will accept the that company. So it increase the valuations. So it's also part of benefits for the IPOs. Human resource management. So after going public, as I already told you, that you will get the good money, and people wants to work with you. So in that case, top talent, you can hire the top talent of in a specified area, and it will help to scale our company. So I'm telling about the some busters. Like we understand that only large companies can go public, but we want to say that SMEs with a strong fundamental and growth potentials is also eligible for the IPOs. Second myth is that IPOs are too expensive for SMEs, but I want to say SMEs IPOs are designed to be cost effective and low regulatory requirements. So that it doesn't matter that we have to pay too much expenses for the IPOs and we have to comply to many compliances. So one myth is that fund can be raised only to the restricted area, but I want to clarify SMEs can use the fund for as they want to use for their business, like expansions, debt, repayment, R&D, and definitely it's for the business only. So you are, and nobody will intervene you. So it's totally liberty of the management and liberty. So how can you want to use the funds? So we can use it on. One is said that SMEs think that they don't have too much resources to comply with the IPO regulations. I want to also ensure that there's limited compliances which you have to comply. So we can the only 6 month balance sheet we have to file with the exchange. So there's no too much compliances like a main board. We have to comply with the SME board. So this is the process of IPO. So how we launch our IPOs? The first is the preparation and due diligence, and so we have to do lot of work for the IPOs. There's a DRSP we have to file with the exchange. So for DRSP purpose, legal and due diligence, income tax, GST, associates companies, and many things we have to comply with. So first we have to due diligence for our company. Second, the drafting of DRSP. DRSP is the document which is the compilation of the documents and which is submit to the exchange. After that, appointment of intermediaries like merchant bankers, anchors, RTA, market makers, underwriters, and many person we have to appoint. And after that, the filing of the DRSP. DRSP is filed by the merchant bankers. And next step is the stock exchange approvals. So we have to take stock exchange approvals, and after that the price determinations. We have to determine the price of our stock, and after that we have to file RSP with the uh, ROC. And after filing the ROC or HP, then we have to market our shares to the different vendors or different investors. So after road show we have to conduct, we have to show to our investors why they will invest to our company. After that, there is the opening of IPO, and next process is the allotment and refund. and after that you can receive your amount in the end. How you can use your IPO proceeding as your own. So this is the steps which is to be followed for IPO purpose. Now I want to say how listing will be done for the IPOs. So IPO can be SME IPO can be listed on NSE or it's a BSE. BSE is March 13, 2012 under the SEBI guidance. BSE SME platform is opened, and after that, in same things, NSE's platform is also open this December 2012. That is called NSE Emerge. So in that case, we can list our IPO on SME or BSE. But in case of main board, we have to list, we have to file our DRSP with the SEBI. But in case of SME, we have to file our DRSP with the NSE or BSE. It is not mandatory to file with SEBI. Eligibility criteria. In both the cases, it must be a limited company. It's incorporated in 1956 or Companies Act 2013, and post of paid up capital after the issue minimum 3 crore and maximum 25 crore on BSC. And in case of NSE, there is no minimum requirement and maximum paid up capital is 25 crore. And about the net tangible worth, and 3 crore on BSC and NSE, there is no such requirement. And net tangible assets, 3 crore is the net tangible assets minimum requirement. But in case of NSE, there is no such requirement. About the profit tracking record, so in case of BSC, out of 3 years, at least 2 years must be profit in case of BSC, and minimum net worth should be 5 crore rupees. But in case of NSE, 2 years profit needed, and about the net worth, there is no such compulsion like the BSC. So everyone, BSC has some rules, and NSE have separate their rules, but they are working under the guidance of SEBI. And website should be their demat should not be issued to BIRF and should not wind up petitions. And in case of NSC, it should not be referred to BIRF and it should not be winding up. No disciplinary action taken for 3 years. So promoter should not be changed past 1 year. So this is the basic requirement. And in case of nutshell, I want to say capital restriction is there and profit restriction is there, and no such compulsion is there. Though we can any company which are the SME company can be go for the IPOs if they have profitable business. I want to give them IPO stories regarding the Reliance Industries. The company is incorporated in 1973 and they have their first IPO in 1977, and IPO size was just only 2.8 crore. Although the amount was small, but in case of 1977, amount was also big. So August 24, their market cap is around 20 lakh crore. So we can assume that before, if they will not go for the IPO, there is not possible they will become the India's biggest company. And in case of Adani's, their incorporation is 1993, and in 94 they have listed themselves, and IPO size was just only 18 crore rupees. Now their valuation is 3.64 crore. Regarding Zomato, Zomato is listed in the 2021 and IPO size by 9375, and now it's more than 2.3 crore lakh crore rupees. And Power Jindal, their IPO size was 7,000 crore rupees. Now valuation is more than 93 crore rupees. So I'm just giving the examples how these company become big via IPO. Key person. Now I want to give the brief about the person which are needed for the IPO. First, I want to give the example of merchant banker. Merchant banker is like a route of any for IPO because it prepares the DRSP. It will connect with the exchange. So he will prepare after filing the DRSP with the exchange. Then all the queries which are raised by the exchange, so he will rectify all the queries. He will connect with the companies. So basically, is the root persons who will everything is around working around merchant bankers. So major work is to prepare the DRSP and file with the exchange and get the approval from the exchange. And like road show, like investor meeting, and connection with the RTA. So everything will be done by the merchant banker itself. Second was the market maker. In case of SME IPOs, to maintain the liquidity, SEBI had maintained the rule that for the at least 3 years, you have to make a market maker, and a market maker is to provide the liquidity of the stock in stock exchange. So it will make a call for the one uh, lower circuit and one the upper circuit. So two call it will make on regular daily basis. After that, auditor. The auditor must be a peer review firm, and this is the opportunity for our chartered accountants. So if we are the peer review firm, it's a we can also enroll ourselves as the auditor of a particular listed company. Second, the company secretary. It is mandatory for any company which are going to be listed. Company secretary, full-time company secretary must be hired by them. And company secretary role is to connect with the exchange, to connect with the investors, to connect with all the shareholders. And his responsibilities to provide the all the important information with the exchange. So he's the to manage the meetings, board meetings, ACM, everything is done by through the company secretary. So whole-time company secretary must be mandatory to keep by the companies. Second, the bankers. So banker is the key points which manage the IPO accounts. So in that case, all the proceeding will be go to the banker account, and its escrow accounts will be open there, and it's signing mutually by the merchant banker and the companies. So both are taken care. The funds total they will get through the IPOs, and all the expenses will be done through this account. RTA. RTA is the responsible to manage the shares like allotments, like getting the subscriptions, to maintain the demat accounts, and to give the AGM meetings. So everything will be is routed through the RTA. It's a registrar and transfer agent. And after the stock exchange, I already told that the two exchanges are there. One is the BSE SME and second the NSE MS. So on two exchange, SME can be listed either on an NSE or a BSE. So this is also an important factor. And underwriters to the issues. I want to convey that it's mandatory for the SME IPOs that we have to hire underwriters, and it's approved by the SEBI. And the responsibilities of underwriter, if the stock is not completely subscribed by the market, then underwriter will charge some fees, and in after that, he is responsible of in unsubscribed capital. He will manage that thing. And the most important thing is the registrar of companies. Like I already told, that is a mandatory for any for IPO. We have to make a company. It's a limited company, so registrar of companies alone knows that MC is doing the things, and we have to make our companies and file the necessary documents with the MCA. And the main important person, the anchor investors. What are the anchor investors? Anchor investors, we are also told them QIB, qualified institutional buyers, and they buy they bid for more than 1 crore or more than that amounts. So, QIB involves like public financial institutions, banks, mutual funds, foreign portfolios, investors, VCs, AIF, alternate investment funds, and NBFC companies. So we can say these are the wholesale shares. Whenever we go for the IPOs, there's the two parts is theirs. One is the retail parts, one is the QIB portions. So QIB portions, around 30% portion of our IPO size will go to the QIB, and they will bid that amounts like AIF investors. So they will buy the shares of it. They will judge the company, and after the investigations, and then these persons will apply for their anchor investments, and they will intact their shares. After that, a DRSP. So DRSP, as I told you, that's the documents prepared by the companies and prepared by the merchant banker regarding the all informations about the companies. So it will be covered by the Mr. Singhal in the next slides. Next, after 7 o'clock. Also now for the important factor for the valuations. So how the valuation derived of a SME companies? First is the sectors. Second, the management vision, and third was the profit after tax. There are many more factors as there, but I want to make you consider that these things are very important for a company, like the sectors. Sectors. There's a type of sectors are there. One is service sector. Service sectors is the USP. They have the high ROI. They have some things which are only taken care by them. They are not dependent on vendor. They are not any dependent on the other side. So they have developed things which are unique, and they have high margins things, and scalability, intangible assets, recurring revenues, and adaptabilities. So in case of service, valuation is goes highs, and if they have providing a unique services, I want to say about the services of like IT services, hospital services, consulting services, and they does not incur too much cost, and they have developed some products. So this is they will provide the good values in terms of other aspects. Like second one is the manufacturing. Manufacturing means we have manufactured something for our brand or OEM or any other things. So after that, the after service, manufacturing will also get the values, but service will get the more values rather than manufacturers, because manufacturing has some limitations, but service is not having too much limitations. They have more scalability and more others reputations. That's why they have the good more values in terms of manufacturing. And the least values you get by the tradings, because the traders does not create values to the any products. So they are buying something and they are selling the same product to others. So they does not provide value additions. So they will get the least values among the service and among the uh, manufacturers. So three things are important. After that, the management vision. Management, because in case of big companies, there's a multiple people's works, but in case of SMEs, there are limited people's who are working for the companies. Like 1 or 2% are the key persons which are managing the whole operations and whole things of a company. So that's why management vision is very important. Like vision impact on IPO success, because they have the strategic planning, operation efficiency, market positioning. Innovations, fund utilizations, and many other things are dependent on the managements. That's why they have the key important things which need to be create values for the IPOs. And growth mindset, how what are their qualifications, how their growth mindset, how they want to make their company big. So what are their plans, how to deal with the competitive strategies post IPOs. So everything will be taken care by the investors, and it depends on the it depends on the management how they want to run their company. And after that, the expert leaderships. So if management must have the leadership qualities. If it does not have the leadership qualities, then if it does not have the leadership qualities, in that case, uh, investors will not believe on that these things, because you are leading a company, you want to become a big company. So in that case, it is mandatory. Management must have leadership qualities so that they can lead their team, they can enhance the team, they can go for the more sales, like that. Investor confidence. While you are interacting with your investors, it is mandatory for you. So how you will boost the confidence of the investors? If you are working as the how to enhance your sales, how to boost your staff morale, and how to get the vendors. So there are many things you should taken care, and these things will be boost the investors who will invest your company. I'm talking about the QIB, like anchors, AIF, mutual funds companies, banks, FIs. So these they will invest on your uh, potentials. How will you grow your company? And most important things, how you will use your funds of the IPO, because you will get the money through IPOs, and it is important for you how you use the funds. If you are not maximized that fund for the growth of the company, then in that case you will not grow too much, which are the your investors will expect from you. So it is mandatory for you. So maximize utilization of your funds. So now I'm talking about the valuations. So before IPO, I want to say this valuation is not too much relevant for the management. I told you management is generally think how to make a profit, how to reduce the cost, how to manage the team, how to make the process effective. So these things are people generally do before the IPO. But after the IPO, you will get the valuations. We have listened that Ambani has too much valuations. He's having 10 lakh crore net worth, 12 lakh crore net worth. But before IPO, we are not talking, SME is not talking about like that, that I have valuation of more than this company. I want to say, I just 2 months back, we have done a IPO in the name of Premier Reliance Limited. So before IPO, the valuation is not there because nobody's want to buy the share and because it's not tradable. But when we do the IPO, it's on the valuation of 151 crore rupees. But after valuations, so I want to say that the valuation was the 300 crore after 2 to 3 months. So, and 75% holding is lying with the management. So company has the huge valuation right now. So these things happens after the IPO only. Now I'm talking the price earning ratios. I have told you three factors are important. One is the uh, sectors, in which sector we are operating. Second is the management story and how they want to grow the company. Third is the PAT, price after tax. So three things are very important. And after that, how value will be determined on the basis of sectors, on the basis of your brand, on the basis of USP. The P ratio will be decided. It may be multiple between 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 12, 20, because this is how your investors will be keep faith on you. So it will be determined through the multiple of the PAT into P. So this is the valuation of a company, how it will be derived. So I already told you that the P ratios dependent on the PAT. So how much you are showing PAT in your company, it will multiply by the P. For example, you are showing a PAT of 10 crore rupees and your P is 15. So valuation will be count to 150 crore rupees. So this is the valuation, how it will be derived. So 150 crore is the valuations. And if we multiply, because it's a SME IPO, it's a mandatory to give 25% holding to the shareholders. So 37.5 crore rupees, you can get the easily. So your IPO size will be 37.5 crore rupees. So this is the trend of our IPOs. Like in 2012, the IPOs first launched, SME IPOs launched. So only 14 IPOs was in 2012. And in 13, we are talking, it's a 34 IPOs in comes in 2013. And 2014, it's a 40. And 2015, it's a 43. And 17, it's a 135. 18, 144. In 19, just 54 so due to COVID and like that. And 20 is 27. And 21 is 59. 22 is 109. And 23 is 182, and you will feel is amazed. Then in 2024, in the July, 129 IPOs already in the market. Till now, only 1037 IPOs are there. But I want to say more than 2 to 3 lakh companies which are operating in India, so which can be launched their IPO within 1 year or 2 years. So there's a huge market for our professionals. They can get that's they can motivate their clients, so they can guide to their clients, so go for the IPOs. I ensure you that by the IPO you will be capable to handle a better company, better fees, and companies also will be grow because they will get the more visibility, they will get the funds, so everything will be is a game boosters for the companies and for us as well. So it is a huge market, as I think so. So I told you the how many funds raised by the company in the particular years. Like in the 2024, so there's unsuccessful IPOs are like a zero. So it doesn't matter. Only 8 IPOs is unsuccessful in the, I think it's a COVID time. So otherwise all the IPOs is very successful. So how many funds raised by the uh, companies in the particular year? I want to say like 2024, 129 companies enrolled and 4,531 crore rupees they have launched. They have get the money from the market, and everything is successful IPOs. And 23, they have also 182 raised by the 182 companies. It's around 5,000 crore rupees. And 2022, it's a 109 company around 2,000 crore rupees. So I want to ensure that the unsuccessful ratio is very less. It's a very minimal. So every company who goes for the IPOs is definitely listed and they will get the money. So you will means that if that amount received by any businessman and they have working hard and they are working for their visions, they can also become a big company. So this is the data on NSE July 24. In on NSEMS, 535 companies are listed on NSEMS, and BSC SME, it's a 512 companies are listed. And market cap, this is a surprise for us, 1.55 lakh crore rupees on NSEMS and 1.68 lakh crore rupees on BSC. If we mix together, it's more than 3 lakh crore rupees market, which they have fund is raised how much? Only 15,000 crores rupees raised by the company, and 15,000 crore rupees now reached more than 3 lakh crore rupees. So how valuations reach of these SMEs company? It's a very surprising, and it's not a rocket science. Any company can be listed. So we are also part of this journey. So we should be aware about that. And as a chartered accountant, it's our responsibility to educate our clients so that they can also go for the IPOs. And how many companies are migrated to main board? On SCMers, 138 companies has already been migrated to the main board. For BSC SME, more than 185 companies are the migrated on main board through BSC. And total companies are listed on date 397 on NSC, and BSC 327 because other companies are listed already migrated to main board. So I want to say the example of some of the companies is surprising data. So how their valuation increased? I want to. It's a Network People Services Technology Limited. It's a listing in 2021, and price was only 80, and market cap on July 24. Market issue time is of 14.9 crore rupees, and market cap was 406 crore rupees, and sorry. I want to say that it's a. Uh, just give me 1 minute. I have to check it out. Yeah. Uh, price was the 80 rupees, and current market price is a 21,780 rupees. The person who have invested in the network people services was 80 rupees. Now, how many fold is increased? And market cap on the date of issues was 14.9 crore rupees only. Now, market cap is 406 crore rupees, and gain is more than 2600 time. So this is the gain given to the investors, and how the market cap of company increased. BW Engineering Limited is launched in 2021. Issue price was 58 and current price is 14860. And market cap on the date of issue was 18 crore rupees. Now it's more than 457 crore rupees. It's also gain of 2400 time. So we are giving some more examples like Edavit. Its issue was on the 2020. Issue price was 51 and current price is 2132. And market cap was 26, and market cap now is 1087 and gain more than 4000 times. So this is the data I want to say, that the company which goes for the SME IPOs have raised the fund, although the fund was not good at that time, but now the valuation is rise too much. So this is the big game change for the SMEs company. They can also become a big companies and think about the 1000 crore company or the $1 billion company. And I want to give the example of recently listed company, Oves Metal and Mineral Processing Limited. It's a listing in a couple of months back in 2024. Issue price was 87 rupees. Now the current price is 1294 rupees. We are thinking about those investments, and we are also invested doing trading in the same market. But you feel amazed that if these companies, if you have the share of 87 rupees, now 1300 rupees the current price, and market cap was 185. Now 2800 crore market cap is there. So it's a become uh, within 2 months more than 2700 crore company, and it's not to that now it's come up to the company how will they use the fund of the company, and how to rise. So they can be easily $1 billion company. Bondada is also example. It's listed in 2023. Issue price was 75. Now it's more than 2500 rupees, and market cap was the 188 crore rupees. Now it's more than 6000 crore rupees market cap is there. So it's near to $1 billion company. So Oriana Power is there, Insolation Energy is there. Then ample of examples are there. It is you will not surprise there. We have all the clients, all the SMEs client is there. So many companies you will also find who will be the part of this list. I am giving the case study of this IPO which I have recently done. So this is the Premier Reliance Limited and working in the field of aggregate of transport company. So now this share is listed on May 2024 and at the share of 67 rupees. And IPO was the 40.36 crore rupees and at the valuation of 151 crore rupees. And we have done on as NSE MS. So now it says we have get more than 3000 crore rupees against the 40 crore rupees. It's oversubscribed more than 106 times. And the issue on the listing date, the issue price was 80, sorry, it's open at 87 rupees. And after that, now it's go to the 175 rupees. Now it's uh, uh, I think 130 rupees right now it's going. So market cap increased to 153 crore rupees in the May 27, May 24, and now it's more than 300 crore rupees market in the 2 to 3 months. Now what are the difference between the SMEs and main board? So SMEs minimum requirement is 1 crore rupees and maximum 25 crore rupees. In case of we are migrated to the main board, the minimum post issue capital needed for the 10 crore rupees. And in case of SMEs, only 50 allotment should be there. But in case of main board, 1000 minimum shareholder must be there. IPO underwriting is not mandatory in case of main board IPOs, but in case of SME, it's mandatory. Regulatory norms, there is mandatory norms for the SEBI is very hard in case of main board, but in case of SMEs, they're relaxed. Though we have submitting DRSP with the NSE or BSC in case of SMEs, but in case of main board, we have to file with the SEBI. And in case of reporting financials, SME, we are filing on the half yearly basis. And in case of main board, we are filing the quarterly basis. So SME, after the SME IPO, we have the options after the 3 years. We can also migrate ourselves to the main board. So after 3 years, we can do that. So it's up to us. They have to fulfill our certain eligibility criteria, which I told you earlier. So we are also can be migrate to the main board. Now I'm talking the advisors, which we play as a chartered accountant, we can play that role. So there's the three things as there. One is the pre-planning of the IPO, second the IPO loans, third is the post-IPO support. So what are the IPO planning? I want to know that the first is thing that help in framing the IPO strategy, why will go to the public. So providing end-to-end solution for the SMEs IPOs under one roof, understanding the current states and IPOs plan, and find out we are the chartered accountant, we can easily find out the gaps which are in the companies. And after that, the tax structuring to be done. Formulate the IPO calendars. There's a many responsibility matrix we have to do, so we can do that thing. Assistant management to be IPO ready company, to compliance of the ICDR and LODR. So we have to comply. We can do that. So conducted workshop and training with the IPO team. Help in hiring. Like we have to complete the board of a a listed company, like we have to find a full-time company secretary, we have to find out the independent directors. So everything we can do. And post IPO supports. So we can also support to financial reporting, corporate governance, risk management, and further transaction support to management in monitoring and how to use the IPO proceedings as per the prospectus and provide the migrate supports. After that, we can also provide the level two funding, level three fundings. So with the issue support of right issue, FPO, preferential allotment, and ESOPs. So this is my slides. So this is my number. My number is 9818587690, and my
Hello.
mail ID is sunilguptaca@gmail.com. So this is my things which this is a brief of we have a limited time. So in limited time, I try to complete all the parameters which are needed for launch SME IPOs, and now 15 minutes is there. So I'm here. We can talk about the questions and sessions. So any questions which our participants want to ask?
Sir, some of the question I had received, I let you go one by one. The first question is, sir, what specific roles can chartered accountant play in the SME IPO process?
See, Gandhi sir, we know we are the advisors of any company, so we can provide the old advisory services. So right now, what happens? We're the part of costing, sir. We are do GST, we do TDS, we do income tax. So everything is a part of costing of a for a company. But we are when we are talking about the SME IPOs, so SME IPO will give money to the companies. They are branding enhanced. They are managing vendors. They are many more benefits the company is getting. So in that case, if you provide consulting to the companies, why should go for the IPO, how it will IPO ready company. So if we do this thing for our clients, so definitely we'll get the good remunerations, we'll go get the good mileage, and we can escalate our professions as well, sir.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, sir, what are the key financial and accounting challenges faced by the SMEs during the IPO process, and how, as chartered accountant, we can address them?
See, we already know, sir, that SMEs in general case they are not they're least bother about their compliances. They do GST, they do TDS, they do income tax, but still they have some gaps. Like they do some tax planning and they do all the things. But when we go for the IPOs, we have to prepare DRHP. DRHP is like a Gita. We can say that. So it's a complete documents which are related with the chiefs and singles is there. So we will detail discussion about the DRSP. It's a huge document which are needed to be prepared for the IPO purpose. So in when we go for the as a chartered accountant, I'm talking about. So we have to prepare all the documents. We have the expertise of the things. So we have to we can take that responsibility for once that will comply with the all things. And after that, the independent director is also there. So in every each company's independent director is also needed to be appointed. So we can go for that course as well. So there's ample of opportunities which can create by the our chartered accountant fellow, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, what are the regulatory requirements and compliance obligations?
Please, in case of SME IPO, sir, we are just only listed with the one of exchange like NSE or BSE. So in that case, SEBI understand that SM is not capable to handle all the high quality of compliances which are regulated by the for the main board. So only 6 months limited reviews we have to file with the exchange, and we have to give some important informations with the exchange only. So there's no two big compliances which are needed to be comply. So a full-time company secretary and part-time chartered accountant can do easily the things that is a like a delegation science. if the company use the derogation signs, it can be easily covered, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now the question is on the due diligence, sir. Some of our friends has asked the question regarding due diligence and risk assessment. What are the key areas of due diligence that need to be conducted for SME IPOs?
See, due diligence like that, I have told you, sir, DRSP is the main document which are need to be filed with the exchange. In that case, the legal documents is there. We have to associate companies there, CIBIL is there, and many other things. I think Single sir is there. He has a topic of it will be covered under DRSP, sir. It will better, sir. He will guide us.
And sir, how as a chartered accountant we can identify and mitigate these risks? These
Yes,
risks.
sir, that is not a matter of risk, sir. If we are working for our clients, so we know each thing for our clients, so how they are working. We know we have personal bonding with our clients, sir. So when we are personally associated with the company, we know that the company is good. It's working for too many years. They will not go anywhere. So they know everything about the companies. So after taking care, and whenever we approach for the SMEs IPOs, then we know what profit they are earning and what their USP. So everything is there, sir. This when we come to the personal relationship, then we can easily identify what are the if some companies doing the fake works or like that. They want to they only want to raise money for the fraud purpose. We can easily identify because we are associated with our clients for many days, many years, sir.
And sir, the last question for this session is the how can SME select the right merchant banker for their IPO?
See, right merchant banker is that if we check the track record of for merchant bankers, we on the SEBI website we can go how many merchant banker are there. So we can check it out how many merchant bankers are there and how many IPOs they have done. So what are the success ratios? And so in on the proven track record, we can easily identify the for which merchant banker we should go. And after that, sir, we are chartered accountants, sir. We know very well. We will talk to some people. In that case, advisor role is there, sir. So advisor know about the all the merchant bankers who was good, who was not good. So we have to connect with the advisors and we have to check the whole credibility on the SEBI website. So how what is the success ratios and how many IPOs they have done. So through that thing we can easily identify, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sunilji.
Thank you, sir.
Now I introduce CA Gautam to all of you. CA Gautam is a chartered accountant who belongs to Mahendragarh, a small town in Haryana, and established his practice in Ludhiana. He is dealing particularly in GST litigation and SOP implementation. I welcome Gautam and request him to take over the proceedings from now onwards, and also request him to introduce our today's second expert on the subject matter. CA Gautam, please.
Good evening, everyone. CA Gautam this side, and today I am second moderator on the panel alongside CA Dinesh Gandhi. Firstly, I would like to thank CA Dheeraj Kumar Khandelwal ji, Chairman CMIB Board, and CA Sanjeev Kumar Singhal ji, Vice Chairman CMIB Board, for giving me this opportunity to moderate this crucial webinar organized by CMIB Board. I would like to thank all our members who have joined this session and given their valuable time to this session. And if I talk about a second guest speaker for the day, so he is CA Sanjeev Charan Singhal ji. He is a fellow chartered accountant having qualified in year 1989 with over 35 years of experience in practice. As a senior partner at GAMS and Associates LLP, he has built a strong reputation throughout his extensive work in audits and direct taxation, providing expert guidance across various industries. In addition to his audit and tax expertise, CA Singhal ji is highly regarded for his consultation and management of SME IPOs. He has successfully guided numerous companies through the complexities of going public, offering strategic financial advice that has led to successful things. Throughout his career, CA Singhal ji has been recognized for his deep financial knowledge, commitment to excellence, and dedication to client success, making him a trusted figure in the profession. Today, he will be speaking on the topic professional opportunities for chartered accountants in the industry and different ways of making a career for professionals in this particular industry. With his wealth of experience. I'm sure his insights will be blessing for us. So I would like to call CA Shiv Charan Singhal ji for continuing the seminar.
Thank you, Gautam ji. First of all, I welcome Sanjeev Singhal ji and Chairman sir for giving the opportunity for this webinar. And I also thankful to my colleague Sunil Gupta ji for his beautiful address, beautiful presentation. And I also thank to Lakshit Agarwal ji and Mohit ji. Good evening, friends. Sunil ji has talked about the SME IPOs in very detail. He has covered more or less each and every aspect in the SME IPOs. Basically, I will cover the main portion of DRHP in the SME IPOs. So I will sharing the screen. Yeah. It is visible? Yeah. First of all, I will tell who should go for an SME IPO. According to me, a company that has a requirement of the funds from outside of the company should go for the SME IPO. Who is in requirement of the funds, who want to utilize the funds for the business purposes. The second thing is that the business model of the company has a potential growth in the future, so that the IPO funds can be utilized for that purposes. Next, the promoters of the company have a vision to grow the business and have a mindset to dilute their holdings in the company. Then the company should go for the SME IPO. Then the conditions Sunil ji have already covered. Now I am coming to the DRHP. What is the DRHP? DRHP is a preliminary offering document released by a company intending to go to public through the means of an IPO. It is filed with the SEBI, NSE, and or BSE. In case of SME IPOs, normally it is filed with the NSE or BSE. The exchange where the company want to register itself. If it is want to register at the NSE, then SME, otherwise BSE. The term read hiring refers to the disclaimer that the document is not yet complete and subject to further amendments and corrections by the company. Basically, DRHP document is not a complete final document. After the filing of the DRHP, certain queries are raised by the exchange, replies are filed. After filing of those replies, again the questions are raised, then again the replies are filed. It happens about 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. When the NSE satisfied with the queries, then it provides in principle approval. After the getting of the in principle approval, a final document RHP is filed. The RHP provides a comprehensive information about the company, its operation, details about its operations, its financials, its business model, its risk factors, and IPO pre. The information allows potential investors to evaluate the company's prospectus and knowledge investment decisions. Now I will cover the brief inclusions in the DRHP. What are the items, what are the details which are to be part of the DRHP? First is company background. DRHP usually begins with an overview of the company's history, details of operations, milestone. It also provides essential information about the promoters, their background, their expertise. Business description. The company's core business activities, products, and or services, target markets, and an understanding of the company's primary operations are provided. Basically, complete business details are provided in the DRSP. Risk factors. DRSP further goes on to identify potential risks that may affect the company's business and prospectus. These risk factors can range from industry-specific challenges to regulatory, economic, or competitive. The details of the various risk factors will be covered in the further financial performance. This section presents the company's financial data, including balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements. This information, such as the company's revenue, profitability, and cash flow trends, is vital for investors looking to invest in the company. The various investors take the decision on the basis of the financial performance of the company to invest in the company. Use of the proceeds. DRSP specifies how the company intends to use the funds raised through IPO by outlining the allocation of the funds for various purposes. The purposes can be capital expenditure for further expansion, working capital requirements, IPO expense, debt repayment, research and development expenses, general expenses, and for taking over the other businesses. So whatever will be the size of the IPO, a complete detailed bifurcation of the IPO size is provided, under which head how much amount will be used. Then next is the management and promoters. Details about the company's management team, their qualifications, experience, and compensation are provided. It helps investors assess the capability and credibility of the leadership. When the details about the management and promoters is provided in the DRSP, the investors take the decision what type of management is there, what is the history of the promoters, what is the history of the management, how they can handle the business, and they take the decisions to invest in the company. Industry overview. This section offers a broader understanding of the industry in which the company operates. It includes market trends, growth prospectus, and competitive landscape. Under this, the company which is going for the IPO provides the complete detail about the industry in which the company is operating. Then legal and regulatory disclosures. DRSP includes legal and regulatory disclosures, ensuring that potential investors are aware of any legal issues or pending litigations that may impact the company's operations. All type of legal and regulatory disclosures are provided in the DRSP, whether it is taxation matters, civil matters, all type of matters are provided. Then the issue details. This section covers details related to the IPO offering, such as number of shares offered, price band, minimum and maximum bid quantities, and the timelines of the IPO process. Then the lead managers and registrar. DRSP mentioned the investment banks acting as lead managers for the IPO. It also includes the details of the registrar responsible for share allotment and other related services. Lead managers and registrars both have a major role in the IPO. Now we cover the contents of the DRSP in detail. We will cover under various chapters. The section 1, it is about the general. In general category, definitions and abbreviations used in the DRSP are provided. Various type of terms, definitions, auditor definition, SEBI definition, NSE definition, all these type of definitions are provided in the general category, and abbreviations are also provided in the DRSP. Then presentation of financial, industry, and market data. A complete detail of the last 3 years of the financial information is provided. The detail about the industry background is provided, and the market data are also provided in the DRSP in the general section. Basis on these data, the investors can assess the capability of the company to invest or not to invest. Next section is summary of offer documents. Summary of the offer documents covers summary of the business overview, a complete detail about the business of the company is provided, in which sector the company is operating, under which sector it is operating, what are the various units of the company, about the products of the company, geographical area of the company. Then summary of the industry. The company in which it operates provides the summary of the industry. What are the other companies in the industry? Who are the competitors in the industry? How the industry operates in the field in which the company is operating. Then promoters of the company. A complete details of the promoters of the company is provided, about their qualification, about their experience, about their background, about their experience. The investment decisions of the investors depends on the experience of the promoters, on the background of the promoters of the company. If the promoters' background is strong, then the investors believe to invest in the company. Then the objects of the issue. Why the company want to go for the issue? Why the company want to get money for due to IPO? The objects can be addition in the fixed assets, like capital expenditure, further expansion of the business. Next can be enhancement of the working capital requirements. It can be issue of the expense, IPO expense, then repayment of the debts. Basically, repayment of the debts should not be the main criteria for the IPO use. It should be the least criteria, because a company which is going for the IPO purposes and want to use the proceeds for the repayment of the debts, in that case, the investors' confidence does not create in the company. The investors think that the company is using the money to repayment of the debt, not for the expansion of the business. So according to me, repayment of the debt should be the least criteria for use of the IPO funds. The next is the risk factors. There are various risk factors which cover internal risk factors. Internal risk factors can be business related risk. Business related risk can be the business of the company is seasonal industry. If it is a seasonal industry, then there is a risk in the company. The company has to provide that risk. It can be availability of the material. It can be supplier of the company. If the company is depending on a one or two suppliers, then it is risk. Then the vendors of the company is, if the company is dependent on some limited vendors, then there is a risk on that also. Then the issue related risk. Then external risk factors. External risk factors covers industry related risk. If the industry has a lot of risk, if the industry, there can be change in the products, where there is a change in the products in which the company is operating. So the company has to provide the complete industry related risk. Then the other risk, whatever be the external risk, that should be provided in the DRSP. The next section cover introduction. Summary of company's financial information. A complete company's financial information is provided in the DRSP. It covers a 3 years financial, which should be restated by a peer review auditor. And if the company goes for the IPO on the basis of during the year financial, means if the closing is 31st March, but the company want to go on the closing of 30th June or 30th September or 31st December, then in addition to the 3 years, the company has to provide the information for that period also. And that period should also be audited by a peer-reviewed auditor, and it should be restated. Then the capital structure. A complete capital structure is provided in the DRSP from the very beginning of the company. What was the capital at the time of the incorporation of the company? What transfers has been happened till the DRSP is filed? Each and every increase in capital, transfer of capital details are provided in the DRSP. Next is legal and other information. Outstanding litigations and material developments. Detail of all litigation under any law, whether it is criminal, civil, statutory and regulatory authorities, tax liabilities against the company or by the company, including promoters and directors, are provided in this section. Whatever type of litigations against the company are there, it can be regarding the taxes, income tax demands, GST demands, customs demand, any type of demands is there. Then the complete detail is provided, and a solution for that is also provided in the whether that demands have a major impact on the company or not major impact on the company. And it should be provided in respect of the company itself and all the promoters of the company and all the directors of the company. If there is any civil suit is pending against any of the directors or promoters or the company, a complete history is provided. If the same is not provided in the DRSP, then NSC itself take out the detail from its sources and raise the questions about that. Then the company has to reply that portion after filing of the DRSP. So chartered accountants play a major role in this portion. Before filing of the DRSP, a complete working about the litigations under any law should be prepared, and what are the remedies for that, what type of matters are there, what is the status of those litigations at the time of filing of the DRSP, that should be prepared in advance. Then government and other approvals. There are various type of the government and other approvals. The detail about all type of government and other approvals should be provided in the DRSP. That should have incorporation details of the company. Complete detail of the incorporation of the company is provided with the date of incorporation, SIN number, like that, all the information. Then tax related authorizations of the company, PAN number, GST number, whatever details are there. It is registration under custom, under excise, under VAT, GST, all the details should be provided. If the GST is registered under more than one state, 2 states, 5 states, then the complete detail is provided. Then the labor law related approvals, ESI, PF, all the complete details should be provided. Then business related certifications. Businesses are registered under various categories. Any type of certification, the company which is going for the IPO and the company in which field it is operating, if there is any requirement to the registration of the company and under that business, so a complete detail should be provided. And along with these, all the certificates in physical, along with the details, are provided in the DRSP. Then material licensing approvals for which companies yet to apply, statutory approvals, license required for the proposed expansion. A complete detail is provided about all the certificates. Other regulatory and statutory disclosures. Authority for the issue. Under which authority the IPO is undertaken. It is SEBI, NSE or BSE. Prohibition by SEBI for capital markets. Whether SEBI has issued any restrictions on the company or its promoters or its directors for capital markets. If there are any type of restriction on these, then the complete detail of these should be provided in the DRSP. Prohibition by RBI or government authority in relation to security laws. If RBI or any government authority have imposed any restriction on the company or promoters or directors to deal in the security, then the details should be provided in the DRSP. Next is the issue information. Then the main terms of the issue. The main term of the issue covers face value and issue price. What will be the face value and what will be the issue price? Allotment only in the dematerialized form. The shares will be allotted only in the dematerialized form. It is provided in the DRSP. Minimum application value, market load, trading load. Then the minimum number of allottees. The minimum number of allottees can be 50. And the nomination facility to the investors. How the shares can be nominated, how the nomination can be there. The procedure is provided in the DRSP. Restrictions, if any, on transfer and transmission of equity shares. If there is any restrictions according to the articles of the association of the company, then the detail is provided by giving the specific clause in the article of association of the company about the transfer of the shares. Next is issue structure. Issue structure in DRSP contains the percentage of the issue size available for allocation under various categories of the investors. Basically, there are the 4 categories of the investors. One is the market maker, other is the QIB. QIB covers anchor investor also. Then the third one is the non-institutional investors, means HNIs, and the last is the retail individual investors. So there are certain percentages, there are certain restrictions on the maximum number of percentage offered for these investors. Market maker reservation is the minimum 5% portion will go to the market maker and the maximum can be 20% to the market maker. And the market maker has the responsibility, it is mandatory to every company who goes for the IPO to appoint a market maker for the next 3 years from the date of the listing. And the market maker work is on daily basis. The market maker put buying and selling bid on both sides. Whatever with the IPO size, out of the IPO size, market maker allotment is reduced and the balance becomes the allocable issue. QIB portion should not be more than 50% of the net offer size, means whatever out of the total issue size, after reducing the market maker reservation of the balance portion, the QIB portion should not be more than 50% of the net offer size. And out of this 50%, 20% can be anchors investors and 30% can be for other QIB, including mutual funds. Then non-institutional investors, that is called HNIs, high net worth individuals. The total size should not be less than 15% of the net offer of the issue. Then the last is the retail individual investors. It should not be less than 35% of the net offer size. Like an example, If the issue size is 1 lakh shares and 5 lakh shares, 5%, 5,000 shares are offered to the market maker, then it remains the 95,000 shares as the offer size. Out of the 95,000 shares, 50% means 47,500 can be offered to QIBs. The QIB's anchor investor share cannot be more than the 47,500. And out of the 47,500, 15% of the 95,000 can be HNIs, non-institutional investors. And the remaining 35% of the 95,000 will be offered to the retail investors. Then, basis of allotment to the various categories of the investors. One category is the firm allotment. Firm allotment is to the two investors. One is the market maker. Whatever reservation is there, offer has been made to the market maker, it is the firm allotment. Only the applications for the offer will be received, which is offered to the market makers. No access application will be received by the company. And the second one is the anchor investors. In case of anchor investors, again it is a firm allotment. Whatever investments will be there by the anchor, it is the firm allotment. And the proceeds of the IPO from market maker and anchor investors are received before the date of the opening of the IPO. Then proportionate allotment. If the issue is subscribed over time more than the IPO size, then the allotment is done on proportionate basis and it is worked out by the RTA. Then the main provisions of the articles of the association. In this chapter, complete details of the article of the association of the company are provided in DRSP under this section. Then the next section is other information. Other information covers detail of material contracts like agreement between the company and the registrar to the issue, underwriting agreement, market maker agreement, agreement between NDSL and the company and the registrar of the issue, agreement with the CDSL, the company and the registrar of the issue. All these agreements details is provided in the DRSP. Then material documents for the issue. What are the material documents for the issue? Certified true copy of the certificate of incorporation, memorandum of association and article of association of the company. And these documents should be the latest document after all the amendments. The latest amended document should be provided. Then the resolutions of the board of directors in relation to the issue and other related matters. Consents of the directors, company secretary, compliance officer, chief financial officer, statutory auditors, book running and lead manager, registrar to the issue, peer review auditor, legal advisor, and market maker to act in their respective capacities. A NOC is received, consents are received from all these persons because their names are provided in the DRSP. So a consent is taken from all these persons. The names of these persons are provided in the DRSP in the respective category. And these consents are submitted along with the DRSP. Peer review auditors report on restated financial statements of the company and the restated financial of the last 3 previous years. In the normal course, balance sheets and financials are prepared every year. But before the IPO, the last 3 years audited accounts are restated, and the restated accounts should be done by a peer review auditors. The normal audit, it is not mandatory. The earlier auditor was the peer review auditor, but the restated financials should be audited by the peer review auditors. A report is provided by the peer review auditor on the restated financial statements, and in the DRSP, only restated financial statements are provided. There can be difference in the various figures in the profitability and other matters of the normal balance sheets and the restated financial statements. The financials which are restated are considered for the purpose of DRSP only. The normal balance sheets which is done on year-to-year basis is not provided in the DRSP. Then the report by the legal advisor to the company confirming status of outstanding litigation and material development. All the litigations which are pending against the company or by the company, against its promoters, against its directors, and the status of the present, a proper report is provided by the legal advisor, and that report is provided along with the DRSP. Then due diligence certificate submitted to the SEBI or the exchange by the merchant banker. A complete comprehensive certificate is provided by the merchant banker that whatever details are provided in the DRSP under various heads are true and correct, and they have done the due diligence for the same. A certificate is provided by the merchant banker for the same. The exchange takes the call on the basis of the due diligence certificate provided by the merchant banker. If there is any difference in the details provided in the due diligence and the actual details, then the merchant banker is responsible for all these things. One more thing I want to cover in this about the use of the IPO proceeds. Whatever heads are selected by the company for use of the IPO proceeds, like first one is for capital expenditure. A complete detail about the capital expenditure under various heads is provided in the DRSP. The details can be plant and machinery, it can be land and building, it can be or other things, but a complete item-wise detail is provided in the DRSP, and quotation should be provided in the DRSP from the vendor, from where the one company want to procure these items to justify the amount. The quotations is detail of the quotation is provided in the DRSP. Again, working capital requirements. A complete detail of the calculation of the working capital is provided, how the company will use the IPO proceeds in the working capital, which has been kept aside for that purpose. Then the IPO size expenses. A company can pay up to 25% of the IPO size as expenditure for the IPO. If the company want to acquire any other companies or then the businesses, then in the DRSP, the details should be provided. And the next is declaration signed by the directors, chief financial officers, company secretary of the company, stating the prior compliance of all guidelines, regulations issued by the Government of India, or the guidelines, regulations issued by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, or exchanges established under Section 3 of the Securities Exchange Board of India. A complete declaration is provided all these persons in the DRSP. All the guidelines has been complied with, all the regulations has been complied with, which are covered with details which are provided in the DRSP are true and correct. This is about the presentation. Now I want to talk some other things without the presentation. A chartered accountant has a major role, a major practice in the SME IPO. Chartered accountant in the normal course of the business, normally chartered accountant provides the working in the field of audit or routine taxation, filing of returns. The clients do not get any value addition by doing these type of works, because these type of works are the binding of the client. Because the audit is required, the client asks to the auditor to provide that, to do the audit. Filing of the income tax return is mandatory for the client, then the client asks to file the return. If audit and filing of the returns are abolished by the government authorities, then the client will not ask the chartered accountant to do these activities. According to me, the chartered accountant should play other roles instead of doing the traditional practice of audit, income tax, GST, VAT, custom, excise. The chartered accountant should play a major role in the value addition to the client. If we will provide the value addition to the client, then definitely the client will give a very handsome fees for that work also, and the client will recognize the value of the chartered accountant. And for the purpose of SME IPO, a chartered accountant play a major role. It can prepare the client in the existing business of the client. Whatever size of the client is the business is there, the chartered accountant can provide the various ways how the business can be increased, how the valuation of the business can be increased, how the profitability can be increased, how the various things can be managed in a better way, which are managed at present. If all these things are provided by a chartered accountant, the company will get benefit from all these things. Then the company will recognize the role of the chartered accountant, the value addition of the chartered accountant in the business. Then the company will pay the fees in a very better way as compared to the audit or other traditional work. And before going for the IPO or filing of the DRSP, a lot of work is required to be completed. And the chartered accountant has a major role on these works. Before filing of the DRSP, preparation of the DRSP, whatever requirements are of the DRSP, each and every field should be completed, should be complied by the company, and the chartered accountant can play a major role in that. Means chartered accountants should check whether all compliances regarding various tax matter has been complied or not. If not complied, then what are the pendencies? If the pendencies are there, then that should be complied. And if any proceedings are pending before any authority for the past activities, then what is the status of those activities? It should be prepared before filing of the DRSP. In that, the chartered accountant can play a major role. It can be income tax, it can be GST, it can be custom, it can be excise, it can be VAT. Any type of there. Again, other proceedings against the company. The chartered accountants can play a major role also to compile the various litigations pending against the company. It can be civil litigations, it can be criminal litigations, or it can be financial litigations. Again, in valuation also, the chartered accountant can play a major role. Normally, in the finalization of the balance sheets and P&L account, these are prepared by the client and details are provided, and these are certified by the chartered accountant on audit basis. At the time of audit, the chartered accountant does not provide any details or items which can maximize the profitability of the company, because this is the responsibility of the company to prepare the financial accounts. But the chartered accountant is working on a consultant basis. Then the chartered accountant can play a major role in the increase of the profitability the chartered accountant can work out the various deficiencies in the company. It can be inventory management, it can be debtors collection, it can be creditors payment, it can be various expenses that can be reduced. So these roles can be provided by a chartered accountant, and for which the company will get the value addition. And if the company will get the value addition, then a handsome fees will be provided by the company to the chartered accountants. Again, when the DRSP is prepared by the merchant banker, and merchant banker deals with the company to get the various informations for the DRSP purposes. But a chartered accountant play a major role between the merchant banker and the company as a consultant purposes. The chartered accountant can collect all the informations in a proper way, proper basis, and can compile all the details according to the requirement of the merchant banker, which are to be provided in the DRSP. Then the merchant banker will also have a look. The merchant banker will be easy to get these details by the chartered accountants, because the company persons will not be in a position to provide the details according to the requirement of the merchant bankers. They will not be in a position to understand the various laws, various requirements of the merchant bankers. But the chartered accountant can explain, can provide all the details in a very detailed way, in a proper way, and can compile all the documents which are required by the merchant banker. So a chartered accountant has a major role in the SME IPOs, and in my opinion, the chartered accountants should ask their clients if they require the funds and they want to grow the business, and they have the mindset to dilute their holdings to the public. Then the chartered accountant should play a major role for creating a wealth, creating a valuation for the company and also for the shareholders. And even after post-issue, the chartered accountant can play a major role to provide the various, to complete the compliances under various laws. It can be SEBI, it can be FCA, MCA, the half-yearly results, various queries raised by the NSE from time to time after listing. And the other major role by the chartered accountant is provided, whatever uses are provided in the DRSP of the IPO proceeds. After a gap of 6 years, 9 months, the details are provided to the NSE or BSE about the use of the funds. What were the uses according to DRSP and how these funds are utilized by the company against these heads. So detail of each and every head is provided to the exchange, NSE or BSE after the use of the IPO proceeds. So the chartered accountant can play a major role in this by formulating the details, by preparing the details, how these has been utilized, and providing the details to the NSE or BSE. So according to me, the chartered accountant should go for this advisory process for SME IPO. There is a very, very big scope in the market. At present, most of the companies require funds for their future expansion, but they are not in a position to get those funds because banks are not providing the funds, because they do not have the collateral securities or other items. So the chartered accountant should play a major role by educating the company about the benefits of the SME IPO and further valuation, increase in valuation, increase in worth, of the company and its promoters. Thank you for the patience hearing.
Firstly, thank you, CA Singhal for sharing your valuable insights during this session. And we have received numerous appreciation in the chat box for your extensive knowledge and the clarity with which you have presented the information. And honestly, after listening to you, even I want to do the consultation in SME IPOs and give more value to my clients. So I would now like to proceed with the Q&A session, addressing the questions that members have submitted in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question is, what is the cost of IPO and the timing of the entire process?
The cost of IPO, there is no specific percentage of the IPO expense. It depends upon the company, it depends upon the merchant banker. It varies from 7% to 15%. Some of the merchant bankers charge 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%. It normally it varies between 10% to 15% of the IPO size, because it depends upon the company. What is the business of the company? How the acceptability of the company is in the market. So there is no fixed percentage of the IPO expense. It varies from 10% to 15% of the IPO size.
Okay. And so next question is, if post-issue capital is less than 25 CR, is it mandatory to go for migration to main board?
No. Up to the company, and in the SME IPO listing, the capital will remain always less than 25 CR. It will always remain 25 CR.
Okay. And the next question is, it is mandatory have PAT to a specific level in terms of amount or percentage?
Repeat the question.
It is mandatory have PAT to a specific level in terms of amount or percentage?
No. There is no criteria for the PAT for the purpose of the IPO.
Yeah.
It should be positive. There is no criteria. Valuation is depend on the PAT, but there is no fixed percentage or the fixed amount. The PAT can be 1 CR, it can be 10 CR, it can be 50 CR. Whatever amount can be there, but it should not be the negative.
Okay.
Because valuation is dependent on the PAT, and PAT depends on the valuation depends on the nature of the company, field of the company. The company is in which field. If it is a service provider, then just I am putting one example. The IPO which was handled by me, the PAT was 2.2 CR as on 31st March 23, and the valuation vote was 140 crore rupees. Valuation IPO was at 140 CR valuation, and the IPO was subscribed 293 times. The PAT was 2.5 CR, the valuation was 140 CR, and the IPO was subscribed 293 times. Then you can assume what is the meaning of PAT. It depends totally on the industry to industry, company to company. What type of company services are provided, what type of manufacturing. Definitely, if the company has some brands or some acceptability in the company, then definitely there will be higher valuation for those companies, keeping in view the normal benchmark of the company in the multiples.
Okay, thank you. What are the key factors driving the growth of SME IPOs? Like, how can we assure that the SME IPO is successful?
First of all, the company should be compliant in all the legal compliances. All the legal compliance should be on timely basis, on proper basis. The next one is about the legal proceedings. there should be no major legal proceedings pending against the company. If it is pending, then the company has to provide the reasons for that. Whether that litigation will not affect the viability of the company in future after listing. Just I am telling in this case also, in one of the IPO, there was outstanding demand of income tax of 5 CR against the related party company. Then the 5 CR against one of the promoters of the company. The matter was pending with the appellate authorities. The NSC has raised the question, if so much of the demand is pending against the company and the promoter, will it affect in the future to the viability of the company? Then the reply was, because the sister concern has its own resources, the promoter has its own resources other than the company under IPO. The reply was filed, they have the separate funding to meet out all these things, all these demands. Then the NSC was satisfied with the answers. Again, the compliance, the company should be worked in a professional way. If it works in a professional way, it is a legal compliant in all the respects, then I think there is no major problem in success of the SME IPO.
Okay, so and the next question is like, what factors should we consider before choosing the merchant banker? Like, how can we decide it is the right one for us?
No, there are some major factors to decide that. Normally, the company, the chartered accountant has a major role in this chapter. Normally, the merchant bankers are finalized with the opinion of the chartered accountants as the advisor to the company. And in maximum cases, the company left the matter with the chartered accountant. You see and appoint the merchant banker, which merchant banker you see. Then before appointing the merchant banker, definitely we should show the history of the merchant banker, how many issues the merchant banker has handled, what is the success rate, how much times these issues are subscribed, and even after the listing, what stages the companies are there in the markets, and what is the reputation of the merchant banker in the market. Keeping then accessibility of the merchant banker. If the company is daily based, merchant banker is the Bombay based, then the merchant bankers are daily based are also there. The company has to decide whether it will be convenient to deal with a Bombay person or Delhi person. So all these things are considered before appointing a merchant banker. And again, the last and main, the costing.
Okay.
The last and major is the costing.
Okay. And
one merchant banker charges 10% of the IPO amount. Other merchant banker ask about the 14%, 15% of the IPO size as expense portion.
okay. And so, like, as an investor, I want to know, like, what factors should I consider before, like, investing in a IPO?
First of all, you should see the history of the promoters. What is the background of the promoters? According to me, the company's success depends upon the promoter. If the promoter has an intention to do the business, to do the growth in the business, then I think the failures will be 1%, not more than the 1%. The company will definitely grow. Then again, the next factor is the field of the company, in which sector the company is operating. Next, the acceptability of the product of the company. If it is a branded company, certain brand, if it is a manufacturing company, the company has a brand and the public is recognized that brand, then definitely the investor will want to go that company. Then again, the competitors of that company. If the company is coming for the IPO and there are a lot of competitors of the company in the market, then definitely there will be risk factor of the company. If the company has the monopoly its business, then definitely investor will go with that company.
Okay. And like if a company is going through losses, so and it is now going for IPOs.
Company going for?
Company is going through losses.
No. Out of the last three, for the NSE MS purposes listed, out of the last 3 years, the net worth should be positive and there should be the operating profits.
Okay. So like even if there are operating profits, like there is no condition for the net profits to be positive, they can be in the negative figures. Like the operating profit should be positive.
But the net worth should be also the positive.
Okay. Okay.
If the net worth is positive, the operating profit is there, then the past losses, the investors can consider that. The investors will think about that to invest or not to invest. But if the specific reason should be there for the losses. What were the reasons for the losses? Now the company has overcome for those losses and has come in the profits and will generate profits in the future.
Okay. And like many of our members like are the beginners to the like this investment. So like what websites or what material would you suggest for them to like study before learning this SME IPOs?
In the normal course, DRSP is not read by even a single percent of the investors. If an investor has read the DRSP, then the complete history will be there with that investor of the company. The complete details about the provided in the company, its products, its markets, its competitors, its risk factors, its outstanding demands, litigations, promoters history, related party, even complete details of the related parties are provided. Even promoter group details are provided. On the basis of the DRSP, the details which will be available in the DRSP, the details about the company will not be available any other way. Definitely, it is a document of 500 pages, 600 pages, 700 pages.
Okay. And like one more question. Any criteria for shareholders? Like 1 month before IPO, shareholder list changes. Any rules regarding this?
So before IPO, the shareholders can be changed, no problem. Whatever shareholders are there on the listing date, then they cannot sell their shares up to 1 year from the date of the listing.
Okay.
Before approval, the shareholders can be changed. But the details are provided to the exchanges.
Okay.
But the complete detail is provided on the date of the RSP.
And like one of our member has asked like the recording would be available for this session. So no, actually this is a live session. So there would be no recordings for this session. And like now I want to conclude this meeting as it is already late. So like I would like to thank you all for this enlightening webinar of SME IPOs. And first and foremost, I extend my sincere thanks to our respected guest speakers, CA Sunil Gupta ji and CA Shiv Charan Singhal ji. Your valuable insights and significantly deepened our understanding of the complexities and opportunities with the SME IPO space. Your contributions have been truly enriching, and we greatly appreciate the time and expertise you have shared with us. I also want to express my gratitude to CA Dinesh Gandhi ji, who coordinated this session with me. It has been a pleasure working alongside you, and your support has been instrumental in ensuring the smooth flow of the webinar. Special thanks are due to CA Dheeraj Kumar Khandelwal ji, Chairman of CMIB Board, and CA Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Singhal ji, Vice Chairman of CMIB Board. Your guidance and support have been crucial in organizing and executing this event successfully. We are grateful for your continued commitment to the advancement of our profession. Lastly, I would like to extend a warm thank you to all the members who joined us today. Your active participation and engagement have been key to making this webinar meaningful. And we look forward to your continued involvement and hope to see you at the future events. Thank you once again for being a part of this successful webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.